Let's try this again. Ugh. Guessing I'll take the spear for now. Spear's kind of crappy though. That. Have to find something better. This is... Not the best. Try to get the 5th boss though. I don't know if this would actually be any good. Put that in the backpack. Better approach the game differently when you're doing this mode. You want to get put in a situation where you're taking big chunks of damage. Forgot to mod in the knuckles, huh? I'll do that. I'll do that if I don't get them this run. Hey, what's up? You've definitely had a good night, huh? Get to, bum off my Steam library. Having a good night. Just relaxing tonight. Acid's felt a lot better past few days since I've been, like, not getting so pissed off, so need to keep it like this. Yeah, I'm fine with it as long as you're not on, like, while I'm playing something. They don't let you do that. Like, if you see me, like, stop playing a game on here, like, don't, like, try to get on, because then I can't play stuff. That's all I ask. I game share with somebody else from this channel, too, like, I don't know in real life, and pretty much the same deal. I had to do that for them, too. Oh man, is those some tonfas? Those are definitely some tonfas. There are new gameplay mods for that. The cheat engine table got updated recently, so I want to go back to that at some point. Right now, I'm kind of like having fun just playing this. Use whatever the hell you want. And if you want to just copy how I play, then you have guides I made like 2 years ago. Have the tools at your disposal, they're right there. I worked for hours on that guide for like exactly how I got through that game. Refer to the material I made a while back when the game was still new. The only advice to you is to just just get to the harder difficulties as soon as you can. A lot of the videos for that game are kind of outdated. Like, pretty much anything that's like, oh, best build for Dream of the Strong or whatever, none of that's worth it anymore. Because, you know, at the time, there was no DLC for the game yet. So, like, that kind of thing was relevant, but as the game aged, kind of just want to get straight to the final 2 difficulties, so that ethereal items drop. Everything else before that is you don't really need to go through it. The first game was like that too. I played the first game after they already dropped support for it, so I just rushed to the final difficulties. There's no reason not to. Neo series, it's very different, like, when you buy it when it's new, and you play it, like, extensively, and when all the DLCs released, and the game's pretty much, like, not gonna be supported anymore. It's like, it's a massive difference. I think a lot of people don't really understand that. I mean, a lot of games are like that, you know, Borderlands and stuff is like that too. Like, there's better stuff later on. You're not gonna sit around and grind on... Not gonna sit around and grind on, like, the first difficulty. It doesn't make sense to do that. It only makes sense when the game is new. Because, like, the way Neo games work, both of them, is they come out, they have the base difficulty, Samurai, and then we have the Strong, which is the first New Game Plus. And that's all there is in the game, so you don't have access to, like, any interesting gear or anything like that. You kind of just have, like, divine items. Then it takes months for the next pack to come out. So it's like, you can grind if you want, but I mean the game's gonna power creep. But Like, if you're playing it after it came out, you don't really have to do that. And if you get endgame gear and you want to do completion, like all the other stuff, that's a lot easier to just do it retroactively, like after you've already cleared everything. Also, when Neo games come out, to get to the next difficulty, what they do is to, like, prevent people from doing what I said, is they basically make you have to play through the entire game again to get access to the next difficulty. But when the DLC comes out, what they do is they reduce how much you need to do that, to the point where you can play through, like, maybe 30% of the game again. And there's lists you can find that just straight up tell you, like, these are the fastest levels to do, and you can just get straight to the next difficulty. Very different, playing that after they, you know, they're finished with support for it. The problem is that, like, first difficulty, playing through it again is boring because there's not any, there's not any interesting gear. You're kind of just playing through it again. The gear is, like, marginally better, but, not enough to really keep you hooked. Most people, anyway. Man, another booty call bot, huh? Got one during my kitty sitting stream. The name was like, I forget what it was, but it sounded like it was out of Star Wars or something. like a Kit Fisto or... Actually, that's a good bot name right there. Some like scuffed JRPG protagonist name or something. Nobuyuki Hiyama is a legend. He should just voice everything. Crazy how many games I have on here that he's in. Same with Johnny Young Bosch, both of them. like tons of games on this channel. Should like download all my old videos and like make a compilation. Both regulars on this channel, that's for sure. He's one of those VAs that you hear constantly, but you don't get tired of it. But he actually does do a fair amount of roles where he does not have that scream voice. He actually managed to not get completely typecast for it, but still probably like 75% of the stuff he does. Johnny Young Bosch is kind of the same way. Those two parallel each other a lot. Like they're way more they have way more range than people give them credit for. It's just they're typecast really hard. Unfortunately, as a voice actor, especially if you're a non-Japanese voice actor, you have to really you have to take what you can get. A lot harder to be a non-Japanese voice actor. They don't get as many opportunities. The pay isn't as good. kind of don't want to go to the village. I don't want to go to the ossuary either. Problem there is there's a lot of the hedgehogs, and they're like really hard to deal with when you have 10 times more of them on the screen than intended by the developers. Not sure which way should I go. You can see why this is the most popular mod. It's like it's a more relaxing way to play the game, and also can unlock stuff a lot easier. But at the same time, you're not just like straight up giving yourself stuff either. So it strikes a pretty good balance. That. You mean the starting weapon? Is that what you're asking? What do you mean, like the, you know, it gives you like the base stat at the start? Is that what you're talking about? No, I don't quite understand your question. If you're talking about the base stat that it gives you the bonus for, that doesn't matter. It's not like it's Diablo 2 or anything. It's not really like an impactful choice. Pretty much just pick what you want. They added a lot of things in the second game to make it so that you can play any weapon you want. Later on, at the beginning of the game, it does somewhat matter, but barely. But later on, the way it works is... Hold on here. The way it works is you'll be able to put an affix on weapons that will allow it to scale with whatever stat you want. When you get those, you can effectively just play any weapon with any stat. The Guardian Spirit you get later too. It's not like Diablo 2. I can tell you probably played that game when you were younger because you're like worried about it, but no. It's not like that at all. It's not the kind of game where you need more than one character, if that's what you're asking. It's play as one character and you can do everything. Just you have to wait until some of the harder difficulties and stuff before you get those options. Now you can respec in the game, like there's There's the transform affixes. Allow you to change what a stat scales off of. They give you a lot of options. I think video games in general with like stats and stuff, they're getting away from letting you make irreversible decisions. Like I don't understand why people have such a hard-on for that. Like, if I want to make irreversible decisions, I can just like go apply for a credit card and not pay it off or something. Like, I don't need that playing a damn video game. Some people hate that. I just don't get why. Still, like, make your own character in a game like that without like everything you do being irreversible. I'm glad that that kind of design is a thing of the past. People even hated that in Diablo 3. It's like, okay, so I'm gonna play on a second monitor all the time. And meticulously think about every decision. I mean, isn't that what, like, being an adult is? I thought video games are, like, supposed to be an escape. Not feeling like every decision you make has, like, this major irreversible consequence. But yeah, Neo 2 is not like that at all. That's a replacement for this. Nice. Alright. Basically means I can slow down the entire swarm of enemies. Kinda don't want to go to the village, because the village is like full of the cannonball guys. And on this mod, it's like barely possible to get through it. Go here instead. Sometimes last time I tried to do this, I got all the way there, and then I just got stuck in hit stun. Like, could not move. It's not like I'm playing the game as intended, so not a big deal, but trying to prevent that this time. This is a lot less stressful this way. I should have just been playing this game this way the whole time. I don't like this game enough to do like the masochistic shit, like go through the hardest difficulty not getting hit. I got to the third boss cell. That's like, I think a lot of people say that's where if you're sane, that's where you stop trying to get harder, stop trying to get farther at that point. I can definitely see it. The way this game makes itself harder, I just don't like. 3 boss cells I could do. 24 brutality. They're doing a lot of damage. It'd be more fun to do this, actually. Yeah, sure, let's go here. Map is pretty fun with so mode. Hey, what's up, dude? What have you been video gaming with lately? See that post I tagged you in? About Avengers? Guy crashed during a raid, then he got back in the game and his save file corrupted. You can't make that shit up. Like, how does that happen? The raid crashes. And then the game reboot the game, and then your save gets corrupted. Like, that's an incredible chain of events there. Would expect that to happen in like an indie game, not like AAA game based on one of the most profitable the most profitable franchises in the world. Yeah, God Eater 3 is a good game. The Reddit for Avengers is like pretty depressing. As you can tell, people they like the game and they want it to get better, but at the same time they know it's not going to get better. They have like a skeleton crew working on it. They don't really know how to make that kind of game. Oh, I don't know about that guy. I would like to demand my money back if that happened to me. But like, you need to give me my money back. Like, every game published by Square Enix, I need to get for free for the rest of my life. Fuck that, man. How does that even happen? Like, you better give me, like, Final Fantasy 16 the day it comes out. Some shit like that. If you ever want me to do business with your company again. I hear most of the people that liked God of War did play the old ones. I never played it myself. I think the consensus is like, maybe if you don't go into it expecting it to be like a character action game anymore, a lot more story oriented and grounded, then it's a good game. But if you liked it because it was a jank DMC, then it's not gonna be what you want. A lot of the people that played the old games don't like the new God of War. I guess it kind of sends this message of like, we're not gonna make the games like that anymore. No, I didn't play it. I watched people play it. But yeah, it's like very grounded. It's not like character action anymore. You can't even jump. There's like a lot more story focused. I never played it myself, yeah. I don't know if I'd bother buying it, though. Probably wouldn't like it. Maybe when it's like $15 in 6 months. I enjoyed Godfall for what it was. It definitely does some things better than Neo 2. Like, having a lot more control over your gear, the gear that you get is really nice. I like that aspect of it. It's just I don't like that, the combat suffers because of it. The combat is way worse. Like, there's barely any moves in the game. You can't cancel out of things when you want. It's just, it's so similar to Neo 2, but like it drops the ball in what matters, which is the combat. But you have a lot more control over your loot in Godfall. So hopefully if they make another one, they make the combat better and have like more than 3 moves per weapon. The moveset quality in that game it pales in comparison to Neo every way. But if you're not into, you know, doing sweaty weapon switch combos and stuff, Godfall's fine. So if you're into, like, the technical aspect of it, that game really fails to deliver. They said they have they're doing like a roadmap for this year. I don't know, they did say they're gonna make the Valor plates, the armor pieces. They were gonna make those better or something. That was one of the things I kind of felt like false advertising. The armor you get, like, they're barely any different. They don't really change your playstyle. At best, you can kind of like build around them, but they're all like functionally the same. said that's one of the things they're gonna work on. Like, that might get me to come back. Godfall just suffered because it had to be a PS5 launch title. I think that's that game's biggest issue. Those are some pretty big shoes to fill, especially on a console that's like impossible to get. And people were buying it, and the game's wasn't worth $70. Even if you like the game for what it is, there's some people that really do like that game a lot more than I did. You can't say that game's worth $70. Very light in content. And unlike Neo 2, the gear allows you to just completely ignore the combat. That's like the biggest difference between the games, in my opinion. Like, there's nothing in Neo 2 that just makes you invincible. Like, you always had to be paying attention. Godfall, you can get to the point where you just poop out a bunch of damage, everything dies. Which is fun, I mean, I don't mind that at all. It's just... it's just a different kind of fun from Neo, where the game is still skill-based. That's fine. Have fun, dude. Hard feelings. Enjoy yourself. back in here. Where's the exit? No, it's this way. Yeah. I'm not gonna fight through that room. This part's actually pretty hard on this difficulty. Exit's over here to the left. Nice that they added that. Explore, like, most of the map, but we'll just, open everything up. Did I ever get an email about Sifu? No, why? What are you referring to? Yeah, Neo is not, Neo is not like Souls. It's endlessly compared to Souls, but it's not... not like Souls at all. Very combo-focused. Not just dodge and attack. Got more to it. Oh, Sister's 19 LOL. I'm sure that's a very thought-provoking sight. Yeah, the booty call bots are full force tonight. No, I didn't get anything. I might just hit them up on Twitter. Kind of on the fence about that game. I haven't really seen any good gameplay for it. I'll probably just buy it because it's a melee action game and there's a drought of those lately, but I don't know if I'd like it. How long ago did that happen? I mean, isn't that like every melee action game? That's like most melee action games are like that. Especially because there's so few people that know how to play melee action games that, like, the gameplay quality is going to be a lot lower. Something more mainstream, like a first-person shooter, or battle royale, or stuff like that. I mean, it takes a lot of skill to play those games too. But if you don't like things like that, and you have a lot less to look for. It's like the only reason I have any views. Yeah, I didn't get anything, dude. reached out. No, I'm not playing you as intended, but let's not freak out here. Things fine, game. Just being tinkered with a little bit, that's all. You have some good gameplay footage of that game, I'll check it out. I haven't really looked into it myself. I don't know how hard it is to get codes from them either. Might be one of those companies where they don't like smaller streamers. Which, I mean, I totally understand. Got a sponsorship request today. Said they were gonna pay me $400 for 20-second advertisement. I look at the game and it's like, I don't think these people would pay me. I'm like, trying to not beat myself up about how badly my channel does, but a channel of my size, I'm not worth $400. Like, it didn't even seem like a personalized email. Seems like they probably sent that out to like thousands of channels like mine. I just didn't reply. I've only had one company actually offer to pay me to play something, and they never fucking paid me. So I'm really wary about that kind of stuff. Especially when it's something I don't even want to play. It's like some weird-looking horror game. Seriously doubt those people would pay me. You gotta watch it. You don't want to get involved with people like that. Not who they say they are. Like, why would you pay somebody who's outside of popular guides and stuff? I'm not worth that kind of money. Can you not get, like, popular people to play the game? Though I understand that, like, when you're that popular, you're just inundated with weird games like that to play. I'd like to believe that they're real, but I seriously doubt it. At least Raid Shadow Legends, you know, you sell your soul if you take that deal, but, I mean, they do pay you. Like, they do give you their part of the deal. I mean, that's worth something. Yeah, I didn't get that blueprint. What the hell? Play some more later. What controller bug? What are you talking about? Oh. Whoa! 50 smackaroonies. Oh, you sent that 16 minutes ago? I didn't see it. Oh man, I feel bad. I don't even know if you're still here. Didn't appear on my phone. Well, here you go. Thank you very much. I'll play this too. God of War money? I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. I don't know if I'd like that game. Probably would put that more towards X2. There you go. Yeah, sorry about that. I don't have any kind of notification system. I just rely on my email on my phone. That kind of tells me if someone donated. Which ironically is a lot of people were kind of doing that because of all the Streamlabs drama. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but Streamlabs was basically exposed for... They put their name on OBS, Open Broadcaster Software, which is like the... Millions of people use that to stream and stuff and make videos. They put their name on it, and they never had consent to do that. So that whole company like got canceled. But the problem is, a lot of people rely on them for processing donations and stuff. So there was like a mad dash people to like find some other alternative that could handle all that. But I just give people my PayPal link. It's easier that way. But yeah, they did some really scummy stuff. That they've had their name on that program for years, and basically making money off it, and they never had consent to do that. That happened a couple months ago. I think it was like back in like November. Pretty crazy shit. I don't know. I don't know how stuff like that happens. Like you build your company around stealing someone else's work, and you never had consent in the first place. Like, how does that happen? Here we are. Oh, another donation. You guys are too kind, man. What the hell? That's the thing, though. They're not a Chinese company. They're not a Chinese company. They're American-owned, as far as I know. They're actually not that far from me. I think they're here in California. I want this to play at my funeral. Be the greatest honor if those who remembered me, anybody I impacted in my lifetime, would just play that at my funeral. I would be very grateful. No, you know, guys, you guys know how much I love ninjas. I haven't really read anything on this game. I don't think I'd drop $50 on this. No, the Streamlabs. Streamlabs. Those guys are scumbags. You can read about it. It's all over the internet. You can look up some stuff on this game. I don't know if there's like a wiki for it or whatever. I don't really think I'd like it. I like the other one, the older ones. You know, the jank DMC. That was a lot more up my alley. The price is a little bit too much right now. Something I might not like. Yeah, I don't care about the story. I don't know, I just don't like how they're trying to humanize Kratos. Like, dude, it's way too late to do that. Just the whole premise of the story, I think is dumb to me. Why are you trying to humanize a character? It's like, yes, he has a tragic backstory, but goes around and like kicks people's heads in and shit. Like, why are you trying to do this like 15 years in? Like, should have done that from the start. Like, he's not a character I ever care about. He's just some bald guy that goes around and fucking tortures people for his own personal gain. That was always my like apprehension towards it. Why are you trying to do this now? Like, that should have happened ages ago. I really feel like they should have just done like a reboot. I think a reboot would have been better. They don't even feel like the same character. It's like you've already gone over his tragic backstory and now you're trying to humanize him. It's like, why now? He's not really an endearing character at all. He doesn't like feel barely any remorse for his actions. They tried to do that with Ninja Gaiden 3 too. They tried to do that with that game as well. It's like, oh, we're just gonna make Hayabusa this try to make him seem like he's just cold-blooded killer. It's like that's never how he's been. Like like they've shown countless times in the original games too, the NES ones, like he's not a cold-blooded killer. He just gets placed in situations where like asexually reproducing clone ninjas and demons and shit are trying to kill him. Like, what the fuck is he supposed to do? Like, give him a free membership to his OnlyFans? Like, he has to fight. Like, and then they try to like make you feel bad for the enemies. There's that guy that talks about like how his wife's waiting at home or whatever, and you just stab him. It's like, not do that. It's funny when they put out Razor's Edge, they like removed a lot of that stuff because it never made sense. Like, what are you supposed to do when there's like a clone of ninjas that multiply like ants coming at you? I mean, violence is kind of like the only option at that point. Like, like, there's nothing else you could do. You're not gonna play like a YouTube video on like anger management and get them to stop. Like, they're fucking ninjas and terrorists and like demons and lycanthropes and shit. Like, I don't understand why they try to do that. Like, just because a video game character kills a lot of demons and shit doesn't mean that they're bloodthirsty. Yeah, that whole angle really pissed me off because I played the NES games. Like, they show like he's a very human character. It's just the problem is when you try to do it like 20 years in. It's like, okay, you should have like established this within like the first two games. Not when you've made like 10 of them. Yeah, there's that scene in the Vanilla Ninja Gaiden 3 where the guy is like begging for his life, and for some reason they force you to kill that guy. It's like, that's not what Hayabusa would do. He would let that guy go. He's not a threat. He's not harming anybody. Clearly has remorse for his actions. Like, he would just walk past that person. Clearly. I don't know, it was dumb. I don't understand why they tried to do that. I think Kratos is worse, though. Kratos is just like, he's just a fucking violent deviant. Like, there's nothing redeemable about him at all. Like, they tell you his past, and he still goes out and just kills gods and shit, and like, people that are innocent just because he feels like it. Like, I don't really care to see his redemption story. Like, pretty much the only action game I could think of that did that kind of thing well was Metal Gear Rising. Like, he actually feels remorse, and they basically, at the end, they basically tell you, like, yeah, he kills a lot of people, but he's doing it for the greater good. And he's not like a cold-blooded killer. That was like the only game I can think of where they tried to do that. Oh, we need to make you feel bad about this character. Like, actually worked. But Raiden's also, like, not really been in that many games either, so that helped it too. You know, at the time that Metal Gear Rising came out, like, Raiden was only like he only been around for like a decade, so like, didn't have that much time to make that kind of like angle feel uh less believable. I don't know. It's weird when games try to be all preachy like that, but then they don't have an option to not kill the enemies. Like, if you're gonna give me all this preachy bullshit instead of just letting me enjoy an action game, then give me an option to spare the enemies. It's weird to like only like Splinter Cell and like Metal Gear let you do that kind of thing. It's like we're like not fighting them is an option. No, you're gonna lock me in a room that looks like it's out of PS2 and just want me to kill shit. Then don't try to be higher than what you are. Like, just let me kill shit. I don't need a valuable life lesson playing fucking Ninja Gaiden. On now. Yeah, it's weird. It's like you're trying to have some kind of message about like not being violent, but there's two problems with that. Just because you play violent video games does not mean that you're a violent person. That whole thing is basically just that's just been perpetuated by the media. every time a kid does something terrible. It's like, oh, that kid played Duke Nukem. I'm like, okay, well, I remember that happened. That actually did happen. Some kid built a pipe bomb, and they tried to blame it on Duke Nukem 3D. I'm like, there's nowhere in that game where it teaches you how to do that. like, like that kid knew what he was doing. Don't pin it on the video game. Like, it doesn't matter if you got the idea. The game does not teach you. There's no, like, forced tutorial of how to build a pipe bomb. like that kid knew exactly what he was doing, and he had the intention to do it. It doesn't matter if he got the idea from the video game. That's completely irrelevant. Don't pin it on the video game. But video games, violent video games have always been a scapegoat when some kid does something stupid like that. Because it's like the easiest thing to blame it on. It's like, I haven't played any of those any game where it teaches you how to build those things, like how to actually use them. There's just no game out there that does that. Yeah, that too. The same thing with Grand Theft Auto. People complaining, soccer moms complaining about those games. I'm like, dude, if a kid wants to go steal a car, then they're going to do it. And I can tell you one thing. You don't steal a car by pushing the triangle button on your controller. Like, it's not that easy. There's a lot more that goes into doing that. And, like, it doesn't matter if the video game gave them the idea. They had to go learn and do that. And be successful to the point where they get in trouble. Like, the video game has no bearing on their actions. I don't know, it's just always bothered me. You can't go push triangle next to somebody's car and just open the door and ride off with it, like... like any kid that goes out and does that, like, they didn't learn how to do it from the game. I worked at GameStop when the whole hot coffee thing happened. I worked there for a while when that happened. And, like, when you work at GameStop, you have to tell the parents, like, you know, this game is rated M for, you know, alcohol use or suggestive themes or mature violence or whatever. You have to tell them that. And I remember this woman's exact words. The kid couldn't have been any older than 9 or 10. Like, does the game have any sex in it? You tell them no. But then she went and bought it for the kid anyway. Like, alright, well... That kid goes out and jacks someone's car, don't fucking blame it on the video game. Like, you have full responsibility for that as a parent. Not the game's job to parent for you.
Over here! Slipstream! Over here! Slipstream! Out of the way! Shall we dance? The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a scapegoat. It's an easy excuse. Easy excuse.
Shall we dance? Follow my lead. I got this. Here's the finale.
Well, those kids should not have those games. Their parents should not be buying them, and they should be teaching them that what you do in the video game is not what you should do in real life. It's not the video game's job to teach that to them. But we're kind of in the era of parents letting TV and video games parent their kids for them. We were around for the beginning of that, with like Mortal Kombat and stuff. Like, dude, Duke Nukem 3D does not teach you how to build a pipe bomb. You can probably find that story. That's actually a real thing that did happen. And they blamed it on Duke Nukem 3D. Well, the other thing is, like, even if you did, you can't jack someone's car by pushing the triangle button. Like, why does the media, like, always leave that part out? The PlayStation controller doesn't let you, like, break into someone's car. Like, argument should, like, be out the window, like, as soon as you realize that. It's not the fucking Power Glove, it's a video game controller. Can't go get a wireless controller and just push triangle and just get into somebody's sedan or something. Stop blaming it on the game.
3, 2, 1. It's forfeit time! And may the power protect you all.
You gotta go through now!
Honto! Hadouken! Honto! Hadouken!
Shall we dance? Follow my lead. Here's the finale.
Is this all you've got? Slash for Isidia! I call it justice. Slash!
Shall we dance? Follow my lead. Here's the finale.
And may the power protect you all.
Slipstream out of step. Over here. Rip.
Whatever works for you, man. As long as you haven't pushed the triangle button next to a limo and steal it, because that's totally what the media thinks the video games teach you how to do. The media. Yeah, just go next to Keanu Reeves' limo and just push the triangle button. Just go in there. Totally that easy. Car burglaries have been, we've been doing them wrong this whole time. Just push the triangle button. These people that steal cars are just... they're old-fashioned, right? They don't want to use the triangle button method. that all the kids are doing.
Shall we dance? Follow my lead. Here's the finale.
Mr. Robot!
Slipstream. Out of sight. Over here. Out of the way. Slipstream. Out of
Let's get him!
Shall we dance? Follow my lead. Here's the finale.
Emergency!
It's what Jack Thompson wants you to believe. Totally not because of shitty parenting. Giving impressionable, gullible kids games meant for adults. Like, no, that's not it. It's the game's fault. That whole debacle was so stupid, especially with hot coffee. That whole thing was incredibly mind-numbing to read. You couldn't even get to that minigame without, like, hacking into it. And the media made this big deal out of it. Like, dude, if that kid found that, then props to him. Like, that kid probably grew up to be a hacker or something, but... And one of those hackers that gets hired at big companies. The media made it act like that was just in the game, and you could just find it instantly. It's like, no. Any kid that did that knew exactly what they were doing. Yes, they shouldn't have left that content in the game, but it was never intended to be seen by anybody. And the character models look like Legos too, like look like Barbie dolls. Like, are you really that concerned?
And may the power protect you all.
Present for you.
Yeah. I think hot coffee was worse than Mortal Kombat. The whole media blowout about Mortal Kombat. At least that's like, okay, this game is pretty gory. Like, I can kind of understand it. They definitely did market that game to kids. Completely different from what happened with San Andreas and stuff. And I can see how that could be concerning. But hot coffee was like, you had to hack into the game to get that. Any kid that did that probably was already looking at other raunchy stuff on the internet anyway. Like, that would be the least of my worries if I had a child that was doing that.
And may the power protect you all.
Slipstream. Over here. Out of the way. So see how we dance? Follow my lead.
Crimson Hawk Ranger! And may the power protect you all.
Over here. Slip. See how we dance? Follow my lead. Here's the finale.
Die! Show me your strength. Sure you can!
Grand Theft Auto 5 is gonna be, How many generations have grown up with Grand Theft Auto 5 now? It's gotta be like at least 3 now, right? That was originally a PS3 game, and now they're putting it on PS5. The game's almost a decade old. They still haven't made another one. There's like a couple generations of fucking grown up with that game. It's just weird because they made so many of them when we were younger.
Out of my way!
Now it's just the one game, they just keep porting it.
I've got them.
Guess you could say the same for Skyrim as well.
You have
See
failed!
how we dance? Follow my lead. Here's the finale.
Back! Power to Hunto! You and sure you can! And may the power protect you all.
Yeah, they were churning out GTA games at the start. There's only like a couple years between 1 and 3, and then they were doing them annually on PS2. And when it got to 4, they started slowing down. Then like it was still only like 4 years between 4 and 5, I think. Like reasonable amount of time for a series like that to not have an installment. But then as soon as they got to 5, they just were just gonna keep porting this game forever. Never gonna make another one. Like, I think it's because the online component of it makes so much money. Although at this point they're probably putting it on the new consoles because they are working on a new one. They want to make sure that people can play it and get more people interested. That's been a tactic for a while now. Yeah, I hear those remasters are terrible. I don't really have any attachment to those games, but I definitely agree that they deserve better treatment than that, that's for sure. I don't think anybody, even if you don't like those games, you can't ignore their impact on the game industry, both good and bad. Like, they don't deserve to have shitty ports like that. Yeah, the definitive one they put out recently. I don't know, when you do stuff like that, you're just telling people to go emulate it. Which is like the opposite of what you want. If your official release is worse than the old version that came out like 10 years ago, then that's just telling people to go pirate, which is not what you want. I thought we already like figured this out with Napster. Like, we already figured this out with Napster. The big record companies, the movie industry, they hated Napster. What was the solution to Napster? It was iTunes. You could buy the albums legally for like $10. That killed piracy of music. Like, that completely solved that problem. Because now it's harder to pirate it than it is to just buy it legally. Same thing with movies. They hated that people pirated movies. What was the solution? Oh, you start streaming the movies and you charge people a premium so they can watch it from home. And now it's a lot harder to pirate movies. Same thing with Netflix. It's weird how the video game industry has not like grasped that, because all that shit happened like 20 years ago. They fucking hated Napster. It was a huge thing. So these kids are pirating all these movies and stuff. It's like, well, you need to make it affordable. And the only way to beat piracy is to make something better, more convenient and cheaper. If you don't do that, then you're not going to solve the problem. We've already been through this before. Now you don't really hear anybody pirating music or movies, because they effectively removed the need to do that. Same thing with video games too, to some extent, but when it comes to like remasters and stuff, they still haven't. Don't get some no-name studio that's only made like mobile games to port over something as big as like Sonic Colors or Grand Theft Auto. like don't do that. Either do it yourself or shell out for a porting studio that can actually do a good job. Because any money you save is going to be lost, and the people call you out for it. Like, this port sucks. One I bought like 12 years ago was better. You delisted it. What do you think is going to happen? Of course people are going to be pissed off, because you removed the version that worked, and you replaced it with one that doesn't work. So now people are just going to pirate the old version because it's not legally available anymore. I mean, that's the only possible outcome. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, the music industry figured that out, like, 2 decades ago with Napster. People were sharing tons of music on there because it was hard to find. You could only get it on, like, CD. The other thing the music industry didn't understand is that how used goods work. Like, someone bought that copy of that disc once, and you got money for that, but then it ended up on eBay. Do you get any money from that? No. You're lining some other random person's pockets. None of that money goes to the company or the artists. Like, stop throwing a bitch fit over it and make it more widely available and accessible. People won't bother to pirate. You can't just blame it on, like, file sharing stuff. But that's exactly what they did. Like, like that 14-year-old kid that pirated your game or your song or whatever. They weren't gonna buy it anyway. Like, not every pirated copy of something is a lost sale. That's something else Gabe has talked about as well. Like, pirating something doesn't mean it's a lost sale. Like, the person probably wasn't going to buy it anyway. Oh, they were pulling down mods that fixed them too? That's crazy. That's unacceptable. That's like, I can't fathom how you can be such a big company and do something like that. Well, doesn't matter. If you can't fix the ports, then don't punish the people who are doing it for you for free. I'm glad Square hasn't done that with the Final Fantasy remake, because that port is fucked too. But the mods basically fix it. Glad they haven't sent cease and desist to those people. I'm like, wow, you just really just want to... If they did, it'd be like, you guys just want to willingly sell something that does not work. And you won't be bothered to fix it. You can't even make, like, an announcement. You can't even make an announcement saying that, you know, we're looking into this and we'll fix it later. Didn't they relist the Grand Theft Auto copies, though? The old ones? Pretty sure they did, didn't they? That was, like, their damage controls. Like, look, we got a shitty studio to port these legendary, influential games over. But they can't fix it, so we're just going to give you the old ones. Pretty sure that's what they did. I didn't really follow that fiasco too much. I don't have any nostalgia for those games. I played them like a couple hours and went back to random weeb Japanese games and stuff, so it didn't really affect me much, but they gave keys for the old ones. They didn't even bother to put them back up. That's crazy. You gotta love it when a big game company puts out a shit port like that, and unpaid modders doing it in their free time, not making a dime off it, fix the game for you, and then you punish them. It's like, why don't you hire those people to fix your fucking game? Like, like you have people have literally done it for free, not expecting anything in return, and what do? You cease and desist them. Like, basically saying that you're content with selling non-functional software. I don't know, it's just mind-boggling to me. How does something like that happen? I mean, we've seen like happy endings happen from this kind of thing, like AM2R. That got cease and desisted like in like a week, right? But the guy who made that game, he got hired at Moon Studios, and they make the Ori games, and those are like He was like the level designer on those games. Like, but it's still very rare for that to happen. A lot of these companies are run by old, bald, white dudes that don't understand how computers work. And they'd rather punish people that fix your games for them. But yeah, he did get hired. He got hired because of that game. There's been a couple instances of like modders getting hired at the companies. It's something that should happen more often, or at least give them compensation. It's like you realize there'd be no modders fixing games if you released something that worked, right? Like, they're not trying to do it out of malice or anything. It's just like they like the game and it's a shit port. Like, they want to fix it so that's playable. But that shouldn't even be our responsibility in the first place. Like, you can't go to like a car salesman and buy a car and then like the engine blows up. They can't just tell you like, "Oh, maybe we'll fix it later." I'm like, no, they have to do something. Like, you go to a restaurant and you tell them not to put an ingredient in there because it makes you allergic, like deathly allergic, and they do it anyway. You can't just tell you, "Oh, well, we'll fix it maybe 6 months down the line." It's like really only video game industry that gets away with that shit. I think I feel like doing like one more game tonight. I'm just trying to figure out what I feel like playing. I'm starting to get pretty tired. Yeah, I'm about to go to bed too. Thank you for your support. Just don't disown me if I don't spend it on God of War. I'm pretty sure I'd hate that game, dude. Luminous Avenger X is out in a couple weeks. Probably a couple other games I'll look at. Yeah, good night, dude. Thanks for your support. Yeah, publishers have a lot of stronghold in the industry. Especially worse when you're indies. Just lots of stories of publishers just completely destroying indie games and stuff, like not paying people, stuff like that, having like complete control over it. That's why a lot of them try to self-publish because they don't have to deal with that shit. They have complete control. It happens a lot. A lot of times you wonder why like an indie game doesn't get patches or whatever. It's like, well, they probably signed with a shitty publisher. And now they don't have any control over it, or they're not being given money to patch it. There's been a lot of stuff about that has come out the past couple years. The problem is that if you crowdfund so that you can self-publish, people they don't want to donate to you because there's been too many games that have taken the money. They have a successful campaign and then they don't actually deliver a game. There's a couple I can think of, games still not out, like those people just ghosted, ran off with the money. I forget what the game was called. It's like Project Phoenix or something. We actually had, it was like some kind of like JRPG, like inspired game, and I guess they like actually had some staff. I don't remember from what games, but like the golden age of JRPGs, like PS1, PS2 era. They had some of them on board, but then like they ran out of money. They never actually produced anything. Like they, they never delivered a game at all. I don't even think they even delivered screenshots, but that was back in the era where you could get a game funded without like having any kind of proof that you're actually capable of making a video game. Now it's a lot harder to do that. Now if you want to be successful on crowdfunding so that you can self-publish, you basically have to like uh you have to have like a playable demo of some sort like out start. Like prove that like these people actually know how to make a game. Whether they know how to manage money and not run out like 2 months in is anyone's guess, but they've at least made something you can play. So the chances of actually getting a return on your investment is a lot higher. But back when that game was funded, you could still get away with doing shit like that. I'm trying to remember what that game was called. I actually want to look it up. Yeah, this is the game here, Project Phoenix. Well, they got Nobuo Uematsu on it, and then the game never came out. Well, they spent they spent the money for Project Phoenix on another game. They gave a lack of refunds too. Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that. Yeah, I remember when this game was like a big thing. Like trying to lie to people basically. Yeah, that was shit like that is what it makes it a lot harder to get a game crowdfunded. Ironically, there's been good games that have come out of that kind of marketing, like Bloodstained. They had no gameplay at all. Um, they had Iga there talking the game up and like shilling for it. The game turned out great, of course. They did deliver a game, but they had no gameplay. They only had like a mock a concept screenshot. They didn't even have the game like running in an engine yet. Shovel Knight's another one. Although they did have like in-engine screenshots of that, if I remember correctly. But there were a lot of other games that tried to leech off that success, but then they weren't actually capable of making anything. Several of them, names I can't remember, ran off with the money and never delivered anything. Alright, well, I think I'm done for now. I'm gonna go ahead and go to bed. I'll figure out what those donations will go towards in the morning. I'll probably pre-order X2, and then we'll go from there, I guess. Try to get X2. I don't think there's anything else coming out this month, so I'll figure it out. Thanks for watching. Night. Should be back maybe in the afternoon. Probably play some more PC stuff for Bazaar or something. If I find something on sale with those donations, then I'll play that. But I've got a little bit of a backlog right now, so I'm probably going to work on that first.